Hey everybody, it's Matthew Reinhart and welcome to another pop-up masterclass. I'm your professor and I'm going to teach you something new. Hey everybody, welcome to class. Welcome. Today we're going to learn something a little bit different than we usually do. We're actually going to learn how to copy a pop-up that we've already made. So I'm not going to show you how to make this pop-up, even though it's really relatively simple. I mean, let's just look at it. We'll analyze it a little bit together. So this is a big V-fold that the main head's built off of. This is another V-fold that's going inward. That's the mouth. There's a sort of pushed in V-fold on this layer here for the arm. See how it swings at the elbow? And this is just a layer right here making this arm. So this little frog pop-up, I like it, but it's just really rough. It's just a sketch, really. And I want to make something a little bit more refined. I want to make something maybe with colored paper. I want to make it look really, really good. Sometimes we sketch out our ideas and make pop-ups, make very rough ones, and then we get to refine them and build them over and over again. Now, usually when I do this, I take it apart and I scan it, and I make what are called die lines. Dies are what are used to punch out all the pieces in a pop-up. We're not going to do that. We're not going to make die lines for this. We're just going to do it by hand. So we're going to manually copy a pop-up sketch that we've made, and we're going to make it into something a little bit more finalized. All right, let's get started. I got a pencil here, and we're going to get started actually copying this pop-up. Let's move in a little bit closer so we can see. All right, so there's a big V-fold, there's some layers here, but we're going to have to take it apart very, very carefully, and this is the way I like to do it. We can use a ruler. I have a straight edge here, and I'm going to mark where some of these folds are. So I know a fold is right here. I'm going to mark it just with a pencil. I'm going to take the pieces off very, very carefully. So this piece, for example, this arm piece, I'm going to take it off. But before I take it off, I'm going to sort of trace it where it goes. Just so I know, because I'm going to put my pop-up back together again after I'm done taking it apart. And I'll just carefully take the arm off. So now I know, see the little lines there? Can you see those little lines? I know kind of where it's supposed to go. I'm going to do the same for this piece over here. I'm going to just draw on, because this isn't going to be our final pop-up, but we need to have it, so we need to be able to take it apart and put it back together again. Take it apart, and you might even want to mark on your original pop, like which side is which. So let's see, this is the left arm, that's the right arm, and just put those two pieces aside. All right. Let's get going on taking more of this pop-up apart. Let's see, let's mark again where we have our folds, and let's use a straight edge. So I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to mark where this fold is. And maybe what I'll do is, I think what I'm going to do is label it. I'm going to call this one A, and then A there, and then B, and then B there. That way I know where that goes. And then there's a fold right here, so let's take that piece off. But let's first make the fold line. This is where it's going to go. And the reason why I do this very carefully is because I want to put this pop-up, I'm going to take it apart, but I want to put it back together again, because I need it to rebuild my copied pop. So now that I've marked all those places where this is, maybe this is C, and that's C, and that's D, and that's C. And you're going to see that I put letters on both sides, because once I take this piece off, I'm going to need to know that D goes right there. You see, I kind of mark it so that I know exactly where that piece goes. Now, you get to use the scissors, and we're just going to carefully cut off those pieces. I'm just cutting off where I've attached it on the base page. All right, so we have these two pieces. And we know exactly where they go if we look at our, let's see, there's B and there's B. So now we know that goes there and that goes there. So when we can trace these pieces and make copies of them and then be able to put it back. Now, let's do the rest of the pop. Let's mark where this line is. Wherever you've taped on a piece to a page or taped on a piece to a pop-up, you'll need to mark it on the base page so that you know where it goes. And I'm going to say, let's see, we've gotten up to D. I'm going to say E and E there. And E. No, F. Don't you know your letters? It's F and F. And let's cut off this big main piece. Very carefully. You could also use an X-Acto blade if you have one, but not everybody has that. So you can see I'm just very carefully cutting where that tape is. Taking my time. Take your time. You could also, if you wanted to, you could just take the tape off very carefully like this. Just like that. Now, only thing is it takes some of that line. So you would have to make sure that you marked where the tape used to go, which is what I'm going to do right now. It's going to do that. All right, so there is E. And then with that extra tape that's hanging on there, you might want to get rid of it. Now this piece, let's look at this piece. Do we need to make another piece? Maybe. We could actually make this all out of one. Oh no, let's do it. Let's mark this one too. Let's pull in close. I love this frog. I like like a grumpy frog. All right, so let's pull in. Let's mark where the fold is right here. And here, where we've attached this sort of lower jaw piece. Okay, and let's see what letter we get out. E, F. Let's call this G and G and H and H. See how I did that? And then use my scissors. Maybe I'll get my little teeny scissors. You know what they say? All mine. Because these are my scissors. Never like to share. I'm just going to carefully cut it. Not the paper, but the tape. See, I've kind of put that in there. Oops, there we go. Now, see, I'm just going to cut the tape. Very carefully. Do the same on this side. Make sure not to cut your actual paper. You're just cutting the tape there. All right. Now I know exactly where that piece is going to tape on. See that? All right, class, there we are. We have all of our pieces, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces plus the base page. And we're going to make a copy of all these pieces right now. Let's start out with our base page. And I think that I'm going to just use another piece kind of like this. Now, when our pop-up was inside our card, it was actually, when it folded shut, it was too small. So we got to make our card a little bit bigger. So let's do that. We're just going to lay our previous base page over the new one, which is going to be pink. Let's move these pieces up and out of the way. We'll just move them up here for right now. There we go, nice and centered. And I think what we're going to do, let's get a straight edge. And I think I'm going to since we need some extra space on our card, I think I'm gonna pull it out all the way to here. And we'll just mark down here with our pencil, just where the edge is. I'm just going to use my straight edge. Let's see how far. Let's pull this over here. Like that. And let's see, that is about 2 inches, 2.75 inches. So let's do the same on this side. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll measure it the same on both sides of the paper so that I get that line right. Because sometimes you don't quite eye it right when you use like a straight edge like this, and you sometimes may do it like that, and then you have your line and it's not all the way it's not measured properly, so I like to do that. Okay, there I go. Can you see that line? Let's see. Can you see that line? That's the line. And I'm just going to use my scissors and cut that line right there, very carefully. Take your time. All right. We don't need this piece for right now. There it is, our base page. And we're going to fold it in half so we have more room. Remember what I said, we wanted to make sure that our frog, and I'm going to do it both ways, so that we can, and I'm going to also, wherever I threw my pencil, there it is, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to use my straight edge again, or a ruler, or whatever you want to use, so that you can see that center line. Can you see it? Let's see, now I made it wider this time around, and hopefully our frog piece will fit inside. If not, we can make the eyes a little bit smaller. Ooh, look at that. It still comes over the edge. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just make a note to make the eyes smaller, maybe around there. Just gonna make that. I'll just cut it off. How do you like that? Let's see, does that work? It's pretty close. Let's do it one more time. All right, now, there we go. So now, next up, we're going to line up the center. I'm going to pull in a little closer. Next up, we're going to line up this center line here with the center line here. Line it up just like so. And we're going to mark where some of these things, we're going to mark it where some of these places where some of our pop-up pieces go. And you're probably asking yourself, like, well, how can you mark it and still see it? Well, I have a special tool, push pin. Any kind of push pin like this, okay? And I'm going to make some pin pricks. I'm going to make a pin prick here. This is where our V-fold kind of centers. I'm just going to make some pin pricks along the different lines where our pieces will attach. And I know that there's one here. I'll put a third one in there. So this way, these little pin pricks, they're much easier for us. Let's see. I think A attaches, let's see where A attaches right there. I think that's enough. Let's pull it away and look. Aha, it worked. See, there's where the lines are. Can you see it? Well, I'm going to pull him real close then. Here we go, the close-up. Can you see the little... Let's see if we can find them. Well, they are hard to see, aren't they? There's one. There you go. See those lines? Or there's that line. See those little pinpricks? Those are where we can connect our pieces. And if you want, you can use your straight edge or ruler again. I'm just going to mark where they are in pencil very lightly so I know, so that you all can see where they are. So the pinprick method of finding where our pieces are attached, it's much easier to use, I think. There we go. Now we know where all those pieces attach on the base page. Let's pull back. Let's pull back. Back we go. Back even more. We need a little more space. There we are. There's all the desk. All right, so we have this piece and it's ready. Now let's get to making some of our other pieces. Now this frog piece, now it's going to attach to the base page right about there. But we can't tape it because, well, I mean, it'll be ugly if we have tape on there, right? So we need to make what are called tabs, and we're going to make tabs that glue on to our base page right here and here. So instead of having tape attach it, we're going to make tabs on the base page. And you know what I'm going to do? Just because I'm feeling creative, I'm going to actually make the tabs shaped like part of the frog so that I'm going to make it so that it's part of the frog so that we don't feel like they're tabs. They don't look like they're tabs, all right? So let's take our frog main V-fold piece, this one right here. Let's pick some cardstock that's the right color. There we go. That looks good. And let's pull in a little closer. Here we go. And let's start off by, well, first, let's make a line down the center. You know what we could do? We could just fold it. Let's do that. Just make sure he's gonna fit. He's gonna fit. All right, see that center line? I'm gonna mark it with pencil, but you don't have to. Because you gotta see where this is going. Okay. So we're gonna line this up. I'm gonna pull in a little closer because I'm the worst with doing this. The zoom on this phone. Okay, so you can see the center line of our pop-up right here, right? Ooh, that little edge needs to go over a little bit. Now let's take a pencil. Ooh, look at, that's not very sharpened. Sharpen it. Sharpen pencils. Keep them sharp. Or you could use those pencils that have the little leads in them. So I'm going to trace along the edge here of my pop with the pencil. Right along here. And remember, we're going to make a tab in this area right here. But we're first going to trace this main piece. We're going to trace this inside piece. Area, rather. I'm going to trace the outside of this eyeball. And we should have, let's make sure. Yep. So we need to make, let's see, we need to make a tab here and here to connect the mouth. We also need to make a tab here and here. Oh, and the other thing that we need to do is we need to mark here and here and here and here. That's where the arm pieces are going to go. There's one piece that's going to glue on here, and there's another piece that's going to glue on there. So I'm going to use my pin again. Where's my pin? Here, pin, pin, pin. I'm going to take my little pin. I'm going to mark where this C piece goes. I'm going to mark where this goes right here on my frog. And now I can pull this up. You know, there you can see, can you see those little pin pricks? We are going to make a tab here and here for the frog's body. And I kind of drew something on here where it would attach. So I'm just going to sketch in some big frog feet. Make them as the tabs. That looks good to me. Maybe I'll just... Those are going to be my tabs. And I also need some tabs up here to attach the mouth. So I'm just going to make some little bumps. Bump. Bump. All right, so we've traced our first piece. And we've added tabs. Look at all those tabs. All right, so there's the original, there's the new one. Let's put it aside. We're not going to cut it yet or score it. We did this piece. Let's get these little pieces here. Let's get another piece of green. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll take some of this. All right, so we have some scrap green left over, and let's trace these other pieces here. Just going to trace it real carefully with my pencil. Remember to keep your pencil sharp, students. Okay, now it's getting tougher. This piece has a fold in it. So I know that it needs to be flat up against that edge so we can get that nice flat edge. I'm going to trace the outside of it, right like that. And since I need another fold right here and here, you know what I'm going to do? Where is my pen? Make my pin marks, pin pricks, right there. Now I know that's where I need to, oh, you know what, I made a mistake. We're not going to tape this down. It needs to have tabs. It needs to have a tab here, and it needs to have a tab here. Shame. You did that wrong. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's erase. We made a mistake. Mistakes happen. We need to add tabs to this piece. We need to add a tab where B is. See that? And we need to add a tab where the C is. So let's just, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move it up to right here. And I'm just going to make the line on the edges right here and here and here. I'm going to add a little tab there. And I'm going to add a little tab here. And I'm going to use my pinprick tool. And I'm going to put it right here and here where the fold is. See where that fold is right there? So now I'm just going to use my straight edge on some of these things so they work a little better. There is that. And I'm going to use it to get this line just right. I know, because this is a layer, that this line right here and this line are parallel. And where the fold is, that's also parallel. So I'm going to just use my straight edge square here. Okay, so let's outline. I'm going to outline it really dark so that you can see where my pieces are going to, what my piece is going to look like. All right, that's what my piece is going to look like. This is going to be a fold. This is going to be a fold right here, and this is going to be a fold. And then this is the outer edge, and this is the tab, and this is the tab. And the tabs, let's see, the tabs are, here's my original piece. I'm going to make a mark on that fold line so you can see it. Okay, so we needed a tab down here. So that's for, I'm just going to put B there real lightly. And I'm going to do another one where it's C right there. See that? So we copied that piece. Really nice. Nice work. Let's keep going with that. Let's do this piece. Again, we need to have, I'm just going to make a line right across right here so that we have room for our tabs. All right, so I'm going to make my tab down here because there needs to be a tab here where it says D. And I'm going to just trace the outside of this. This is another, for this part of the pop, this is another, oh, then there's a tab up here. All right, now, with this piece, you can see, I'm going to mark where the folds are. I should have done that earlier so you could see it better, but oh well. We don't always think of all the things at the same time. Okay, so when I look at this piece, let's see, there's a fold, fold, and there's a fold right there. So I'm just going to place it back, make sure all the outer part is traced. And let's see, where's my pinprick? Pin. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just making, I'm poking along each of the folds so that I can sort of form up a little, so I can see those points. Can you see it? Let's see if we can see that. Can you see where they are? That's giving me an idea of where they're going to be for my fold lines. So now, I'm just going to draw it in because I have my marks. There's one there. There's another fold that's going to be right there. There's another fold that's going to be right there. And let's outline it real nice and dark. Here is a copy of this piece. And you can see I added a tab down here and a tab up there. And you know, that's for A and D. So maybe I'll just make a little mark A and D right there. See how I did that? Just as a note to myself. So that is a copied piece. One more piece left. This one. And this is the mouth piece. I'm just going to do it right here. And we're just going to, I think I know how we can do it. We're just going to trace it like this. Oops. Look at, I keep messing up. Let's put it back. It's hard to look in the camera and do the instruction at the same time. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. Okay, so that's where the center fold is. So I'm just going to mark that there. And again, pinprick. Who would have thought that a push pin could be this much help in making a pop-up? But it gives us nice, we are able to kind of poke through and it's kind of like we're tracing the lines with the pen. And I'm just going to mark. This is just, we're putting this line in is just going to be for placement for G and H. And if we want, we can put a little G and H there. We're going to have tabs that we've already built into our frog main body. But this mouthpiece, that's very helpful. And that's going to be a fold down the center. All right, I think I'm going to decorate it. So now we need to score things. And usually you can use like a knitting needle like I use at work, but we can also use just very simple paper clip and a straight edge or like a ruler or something. And everywhere that we know that there's going to be a fold, we use this paper clip, and I'm going to rub it along each of those fold lines where I know there's going to be a fold line. Na-na-na. So now we have everything scored. These have all the fold lines. And if you don't know if something is supposed to have a fold line, look at your previous one and we compare it. And we look at it and we go, okay, so there should be a fold here because that's where the tab is. And there should be a fold here. And there should be a fold. There's two tabs that go here and here for the mouth. So we know that those go there. And, oh, there should be a center fold here. So in there. All right, great. Let's get to cutting these out. Just a little tip. If you have a piece that's hard to get in here, it's hard to get to, if it's folded, you fold it like that, and then you can reach that part that's on the inside of your pop. See, it's much easier now. And then got our new base page. We've got all our pieces here. Let's look at our old pop, which I put back together again, just like this. See, I put all the pieces back, taped it all back together. Now let's build our new version of our pop-up. So let's use this large piece. This is the large V-fold for the frog. I'm just making sure all of our tabs are folded. Just like that. Let's also make sure these tabs are folded too. All right, so these tabs right here, those tabs are going to go taped to the base page. And we're going to use, some of my favorite stuff, double stick tape. We're going to only use double stick on this tab here that's going to go into the base page. So I use double stick. I'm going to make sure that my double stick isn't exposed, so it's only in the space for my tab, see? Like, we don't want that. See that? We don't want that. We want to fold it over and make sure that it's not sticking out. And let's do that. Okay, so let's do one side. Let's make sure that the center of the pop, and I'm going to pull in. Let's pull in. Let's get a good look here. We are going to line up this pop, and we're going to make sure it's flat too. We're going to line it up with the center of the base page, just like that. We're going to make sure it tapes down on the right line. Let's see, is that right? That looks good. That looks good. There's our line. There we go, and bam, right down. Let's do this side too. More double stick. Only on the tab. Just like that. And tape over here. Tape over there. Tape it down. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this V-fold works. Works. Wow, that looks great. Look at that. And our tabs are shaped like the frog, so doesn't have to look like there's just some weird shape down there. It actually looks like it's part of our pop-up. All right, let's tape the mouth onto, it's actually going to go this way. Let's make sure this is folded. And we're going to put some double stick. Come over here, double stick. Put a little bit right here on this tab. We're going to fold it over. Oop, we don't like that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's sticking over the edge. So if it sticks over the edge too much, you can always use your scissors and cut it off. Let's do the same thing to this side. No, it's sticking over. We don't like that. Here, let's pull split so that it's only on the tab. It's only in those spaces. Now, we're going to stick the mouth. We're actually going to turn it over the other way. We're going to make sure that this center fold here lines up with the center. Let's look at our original one. Yeah, it's just like that. See how that the mouth is? It's centered just like that. And it's centered and it's placed just like that. I'm going to glue that or tape that into place. And let's see if that works. Yep, just like the other one. And see, and I even put some pink on the inside of his mouth. So there's his tongue, as you can see. And here's the original one. Hey, how are you? Now he's like, hey, how are you? Let's maybe let's add some green here to the edge of his lips. There we go. That's very nice. Okay. All right, now let's put the arms on, and we're going to look at this here. Let's see, we have this piece, and it folds in, so let's make sure the piece that corresponds with it goes right there. All right, cool. So let's look on our new pop, and there's a line right there that we need to glue our tab down there and right there in order to put it in place. All right, so what I think I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put a little double stick again. Now you can use glue, you can use double stick, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put a little double stick on that tab. I'm actually going to fold it under so we don't see the tab. Fold it just like that and press it down into place. Again, you can use regular glue like Elmer's glue or whatever you want, or you can use double stick like I do. Doesn't matter. And then on this A tab too, I'm going to put it double stick right on there. And instead of having it show the tab, I'm going to fold it under, press it down, and now there's that layer, and we have to press it in there, that V-fold. So now that V-fold is working just like our original. Look at that. All right, what have we gotten? Well, we got to put on this arm here. Let's use a little bit, put a little triangle of double stick on this area right here, just like the original one. So we really keep going back to that as our guide about how to build our new, cleaner version of our pop-up. So we got that arm on there. Look at that. All right, he's almost done. Let's get this part of the arm. Let's see, it's going to be right there. This is the piece right here. And see, we added those tabs. So they'll glue onto the base page. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the double stick on the tab and then fold it over, attach it in place where there's that line. See, there was a line that I marked when I was when I was copying all those pieces. And let's do the same thing for this tab here. We're going to put the double stick, make sure none of it goes over the edge. See, there's a little bit on the edge. Be careful. Be careful. We don't want it showing. And then we're going to tape it down, folding it under. The tab's going under so we can hide it. We're hiding some of the magic of making this pop-up. And let's see. Let's make sure it works. Open and close it. Remember, each step you build, open and close it, make sure your pop works. So far it's working. There's our layer. What's the last thing to build? Let's see here. Oh, that arm. All right, where's that arm? Right there. And the arm attaches right here. So always go back to your original to look at how it was built to build your new one. And there we have it. I think we've built it all. Let's see. Let's pull back. Let's pull back. Back I go. Oh, back. Oh, too much. Too much. All right. Let's push our tape out of the way. Get out of there, tape. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. Let's look at the two. So there it is. We've copied our pop-up. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. You know, the first one looks kind of junky, right? Like it doesn't look so great. It's just a mess. But this is a good start. This is our sketch. This is our final. This is our final version of the pop-up, and it looks really great. You know, just using like different colors of cardstock, drawing on it before we actually put it together. It really looks good. I mean, this looks like finalized. It's really, final. This looks like something you could buy in a store, right? Maybe. Well, it's not quite that good, is it? No, I think it's pretty pretty cool. No. So that's how you do it. That's how you make a, you can copy a pop by hand. Now, in the future, I will show you how to copy your pop-up in the way that I do, in a professional way, using Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and printing things out, and making die lines. I'll show you that in the future. That's going to be a big, long masterclass. But this is just doing it by hand for something simple, and I think it's really great. Great way to do it. And so that's it for today, class. I hope you've enjoyed the Pop-Up Masterclass. I'm your professor, Matthew Reinhart. Enjoy making copies of your own pop-ups just like this. And if you like what you saw, hit like or subscribe. And if you have any ideas about future pop-ups, put them down in the comments. Let me know what or email me or whatever. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next pop-up masterclass, and maybe I'll get to it. And also, don't be afraid to show me what you got. I want to see your work. I'm sure it's amazing stuff. I'd love to see it. All right, so see you next time. Bye.